Hello everyone, I'm the King of Candles and welcome back to the Minecraft Book Club, the series where I play Minecraft while talking about books, and today we're going to be talking about chapters 1 and 2 from part 3 of George Orwell's 1984. Say that 3 times fast. And guys, it feels great to be back. I don't think you guys understand how long it's been. First off, I went on a little 3-week vacation to Japan to go see some family. So I had some videos scheduled for that. But then when I came back, I was ready to record. I had a bunch of plans made and I came back and got sick. So I've been sick the last 2 weeks. My throat has been thrashed, but I should be fine now. I had a fun trip. I did not have fun being sick, but here we are. And we're finally back in this world. Finally uploading a video. It's been a while. My YouTube statistics are taking a hit. But that's fine. Oh, so now that I'm back, I can finally respond to a bunch of the things you guys have been commenting. First of all, thank you for all the new subscribers, guys. Thank you so much. I was at like 8 subscribers when I left, and we're at 23 now. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content. Thank you for all the kind words. Getting nice comments. I haven't gotten comments like that in a while. And it's just nice to get those. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now, there's been one commenter that has been very frequent with their comments. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And they gave me some fantastic advice right here to put a roof over my villager breeders, or my villagers. Because, you know, if a thunderstorm happens and lightning strikes my dang villagers and turns them into witches, I'd be in tears. So thank you, Honest Sawdust, for that comment. That really is helpful. I do appreciate it. Because I don't know what I would do if those villagers died. So thank you so much. But yeah, today we're going to be continuing along this sort of road. Before that, I have a video where I like plan this city. And I barely plan anything. I kind of just run around making path blocks and signs. It's not really planned well, so I will probably go through and replan this at some point. I don't know. Because it's not really Western at all. Although I don't know if I'm going for Western. It's like a cowboy mountain town. But then I'm also thinking I want a castle up there. Just because it would look cool. And I haven't built a castle before. So who knows what I'm doing, honestly. The steel mill right here, I want to finish it. But it's going to take a lot of brick. As you can see, I only have 32 bricks, and if you're wondering where that comes from, this cave over here. This cave, I've been looking at it, and it's just stalagmites. But, you know, if you look over, I've placed some torches, so it's a lot easier now. But there's like green over there, so I was like, whoa, what's over here? I got shot at by a couple skeletons. Creeper didn't blow up because I have this wonderful bow. But this stalagmite cave turns into like a lush cave. So I have some clay here. There's some, whoa. Am I crazy? Is this blue? I don't know. I don't know axolotl colors. But there's quite a bit of clay over here. There was a golden axolotl around here, which I thought was cool. The blue one. I legitimately thought that was blue for a second. I think it's just white. I'll have to check. Okay, yeah, so this thing is just cyan. So we're not that lucky. But there's some clay in here, which I could harvest. And I didn't realize this when I made the plan for today's video. So today's structure might be a little useless. I haven't seen how deep this cave goes. So we have quite a lot of clay here. So I might not actually need the structure I'm making today. But, you know, it doesn't hurt. So we're still going to do it. But I do have a plan for finishing that iron farm, the steel mill. It's going to look cool. Trust me, guys. I just don't have the bricks, and I didn't know this cave existed, so today I was going to make a clay farm. Kinda. It's not really a clay farm. It's very manual, but we are going to try and do something like that today. Oh, my staircase is over here. I don't know if you guys saw the sign earlier, but it does say mason, so we're going to build a mason today, and it's going to have a little spot to make clay using the new dripstone stuff. I say new, it's been around for 2 years now, I think. But it's new to me, I haven't played around with dripstone before. So we're going to build a nice mason spot here. And I think I talked about not planning a city earlier. And then just didn't elaborate. I kind of have this road right here as like a back road in my mind. And then we're going to have another set of buildings. I don't know. I need a main street for sure, because most Western towns have like a main street. So this building's going to be the next thing in this like row of buildings. This square in between the barn and the mason is going to be a pillar for our giant train track that we build across here. So I don't have anything there yet. And then the spot where I'm growing the acacias is going to be an eventual spot for a butcher or barbecue. So I don't have that yet either. Those are in the works. You can trust me on that. But yeah, today we are going to work on the mason right here, get him all set up while talking about, of course, chapters 1 and 2 from part 3 of 1984. So many numbers. It's just a number episode. So, as always, I want to start with a little summary of the segment so everyone who isn't reading the book is all caught up with what is going on. So, last we left off, Winston and Julia had just been caught by the thought police and arrested for thought crimes. And this segment starts with Winston in a room with a bunch of bright lights and 4 telescreens on each of the walls. And he's seated in the center of all of this, and all telescreens are watching him, making sure he doesn't move. Anytime he moves, they yell at him to not make any unnecessary movements, which, is kind of freaky. I would hate that. And while all of that is happening, other prisoners are kind of shuffled in and out of the room every now and then. One of those is a poet that was mentioned earlier in the book, and he kind of talks to Winston, which the telescreen allows. But he's telling Winston that he was tasked with rewriting a poem, and the poem was too beautiful, and he couldn't find a better rhyme for the word God, so he just kept it in there. And of course, Big Brother doesn't want other religions at play, so he gets sent over to the thought police. The other notable fellow in this situation is Mr. Parsons, who is Winston's neighbor. He's the guy with the kids. He works in the Ministry of Truth with Winston, and Mr. Parsons is basically acknowledging, like, yeah, I should be here. I commit some thought crimes. When I was asleep last night, I apparently said in my sleep, "Down with Big Brother." And if I'm saying that in my sleep, that's worrisome, because I love Big Brother. So it's good that they've caught me while nothing has grown. And then the last notable guy is this old man who looks kind of skeletal and ruined and dead. And he's basically sitting there for a while, but then he gets dragged away by the guards while pleading not to be sent to room 101, room 101, whatever that is. He's begging. He's fighting for his life. He's offering to betray his family. He'll betray his friends. He'll betray anyone that Big Brother wants him to betray. Just don't send him to room 101 again. Now, eventually, O'Brien comes into the room with one of the guards, and I think by this point, Winston realizes that he is within the Ministry of Love, and O'Brien obviously works in the Ministry of Love. So anyway, throughout the entire book, it's been sort of hinted that O'Brien is like part of the resistance, but here it's revealed that he isn't. And Winston has been having these dreams where O'Brien says that they will meet again in the place where there is no darkness, which turns out to be the Ministry of Love, because there are always these bright lights going, never turn off. So this place is actually where the place with no lights is. And O'Brien kind of goes on this monologue of how the Ministry of Love makes sure that there are no martyrs and that everyone they kill truly, deep down, loves Big Brother in their heart. There will be no martyrs. Everyone will betray their beliefs before they are killed. Mr. O'Brien sends our boy Winston to a separate room where there's this weird device that he gets strapped into, Winston. And there's this scene basically to prove that everything that the ordinary civilians believe is actually true. So this device, what it does is it like stretches people's spines so that they're in a lot of pain or something like that. I'm not really sure. That's the way Winston describes it while he's being used. All right, well that's annoying. I had microphone problems, so I lost the last bit, but I built the top right here. But essentially, Winston's put into this chair to prove that what Big Brother says is the truth no matter what. They do this through the example of 2 plus 2 equals 5. O'Brien starts holding up 4 fingers and he asks how many are there, and Winston says 4. And O'Brien's like, no, that's wrong. He turns on the machine and it kind of separates all the joints in Winston's spine, and Winston's in pain. The world kind of goes blurry, and he sees a magical 5th finger grow out of O'Brien's hand. With the machine, O'Brien is able to see what Winston is thinking, and he sees that this 5th finger appears, and he basically tells Winston, see, I was right. You can actually believe that there are 5 fingers on my hand, even though your math and logic that you claim is so important would say otherwise. And Winston's like, yeah, I guess. And then O'Brien's like, oh, also, just to let you know, Julia betrayed you immediately after being captured. Winston's like, okay, but I will never betray her. And yeah, that's basically how the segment ends. All right, so now I'm just going to talk about some of my thoughts when reading this segment. So first off, I immediately noticed that the telescreens were very dehumanizing to all the captives, right? They're in this room constantly being watched by these telescreens. And this is done in order to dehumanize them. It's a pretty common strategy with prisoners, from what I can tell. But an easy visual example of it is with SWAT teams or riot police. So riot police usually have like helmets that make it so you can't see their face. And this is in order to make them a little more robotic looking. Oh, you can't put a button on this. That sucks. But their goal in doing that is to make them look less human so that you can't really see them as human. And it puts them in a mindset of kind of acting like a machine. So I thought the telescreens were pretty similar to that. You're taking a officer and you're basically telling them that they have to just watch from this virtual camera, make sure the prisoners aren't acting weird. It was also briefly mentioned, Room 101, the prisoner was like fighting to get away from it. I think half of the horror in Room 101 currently is just not knowing what it is. Well, half the horror for me is not knowing that I don't have glass. Or sand, goodness, why is glass in here? Ugh. Right, so to me, Room 101 is kind of a psychological horror where you don't really know what's going to happen to you when you go to Room 101 and no one tells you anything about what Room 101 is. So, it could be just the worst thing in the world. It could just be death. You don't know. It's hard to determine that. So it's a very good scare tactic by the government here. Big Brother's government, don't tell them what's in Room 101. So they're going to be even more terrified of it. We'll shorten this because this is a little wonky. There we go. There, and then we just put panes alongside here and inside as well. I'm trying to make this kind of look like a curved window that you'd see in a storefront, and I think that does the job pretty well. I'd like to mention the O'Brien rant, the little rant that O'Brien went on about there never being martyrs in Big Brother's world. I forgot what the the place is called, but he was basically saying that they refuse to have martyrs in the Ministry of Love. They want to make sure that everyone truly does love the state and they're not just, killing them off, and then that sparks rebellion because, you know, there's people that don't like the government. And I'm unsure if this is even possible, right? If you convert people before death, then that's annoying. But yeah, if you convert people before death, wouldn't their conversion make them a martyr in some sense? Like, I get that you would be a traitor to your previous cause, but I feel like there would be a martyrdom in being converted because, your old ideas are being killed off. But I'm not entirely sure about that. I do think it is a cool concept that Orwell added to this book, right? Is killing someone's sense of belief before you kill them off so that they agree with you and they agree that they should die. It probably helps with executions, I guess. I'm not really sure what I'm saying, but I hope you guys kind of understand what I'm getting at. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a cool concept in the fact that doing that, converting people to your cause before executing them so they understand that they were in the wrong, is an interesting way of controlling the population, I guess. So then also, I have my doubts with Julia. Part of me doesn't think that she actually betrayed Winston. I think that's just another tactic by Big Brother to try and convert Winston to their cause, is saying like, hey, this person that you really love, she betrayed you immediately. So she didn't actually love you because she truly loves Big Brother, and you should too. So I'm not entirely convinced that Julia betrayed Winston, but I also wouldn't put it past her. She does seem like the type that would just betray Winston immediately, especially with, her whole thing of just sleeping with people and kissing up to the government so she doesn't get in trouble. I could see her betraying Winston immediately. It's good to see that Winston has the resolve to at least try and not betray her for a bit. I also feel like that's a good method for the Ministry of Love to use if they're trying to get a confession out of Winston to use against Julia by saying like, hey, yeah, Julia already spilled the beans on you. You can go ahead and spill the beans on her. So I'm not entirely trusting of that. But yeah, I still wouldn't put it past Julia. I think Julia might actually have done that. I'd also like to say, this is my last point for this segment, but I'm a little weirded out by the whole spine stretching thing, because I'm not sure if that would actually work, but, it could work. It's like forceful gaslighting, is just stretching this person's spine hard enough until they're delusional and actually agree with you. It could work. This is disgusting. I'm gonna have to put it the other direction. So I also don't know its validity, right? If you just stretch someone's spine to the point where they cannot think properly and they get very dizzy, like, are you actually convincing them that 2 plus 2 is 5? Or are you just putting them in so much pain that they think they agree with you? I'm not sure. I don't think it works, but who knows? Maybe it does. I certainly won't know until my spine gets stretched that far in a torture device, so who knows? Time will tell. But yeah, that's essentially all I have to talk about for this segment. So for next episode, we're going to be finishing off the book. So that'll be chapters 3, 4, 5, and 6 from part 3. And then we'll be done with 1984. I'll just have my review video and we'll move on to the next book. But yeah, just finish off the book for next episode. So we just have a few finishing touches here, like the doors. I'll probably do the interior on a different episode. I've been thinking of doing all the interiors just in one episode. I think that might be a fun little thing to do. I also don't know why this is off center. But yeah, as we just finish up the roof, I figured, I don't really talk much about other things going on. So I figured I'd do that, just a nice relaxing segment here. So I've never really been into sports throughout my life, but for some reason, the current MLB season is very interesting to me. I'm enjoying it a lot. I don't know if you guys are big baseball people. I'm really not either, but I've been slowly getting into it, and it's pretty fun to watch, actually. Okay, so now this is off-center in here. I don't know which I prefer. I don't know. I doubt we'll be inside this building much, so that should not matter. But yeah, my interest in baseball just kind of came out of nowhere. I used to watch a lot of football back in like middle school and elementary school, but then I lost interest in it around then. And I haven't really been able to get back into it. I'll watch the Super Bowl, but that's about it. I know a lot of people say baseball's really boring, and you know, that makes sense. It's pretty boring to watch, but if you go find the MLB's YouTube channel, they basically just do a highlight reel of every single game. It's like 10 minutes per game. So I've been watching those, and it's actually super nice because I can watch like 4 playoff games in 40 minutes and get all of that I need to know out of it. So it's actually pretty cool. I like it. I'm just gonna go through here and add some like slight texturing so this border right here isn't as obnoxious as it is currently. Kind of want to make this look more like it's been sun stained, I guess. And I think that makes it look a lot less harsh. But there's also just a lot of crazy stories in baseball that you don't get in other sports, right? If you're familiar with baseball right now, whatever is going on with the New York Mets is kind of crazy. It's pretty fun to watch. I don't really like any of the 4 teams remaining, but I do like the Mets and the Dodgers right now. They're fun to watch. I could really care less for the Yankees. I really hope they don't win. I just don't like the Yankees. It's the like one team I knew growing up. They're kind of annoying. It's like the New England Patriots, you know? It's like, stop being so good. Actually, just give other teams a chance. Who knows? I'm still getting into baseball. But, you know, it's fun to watch. And it's made me want to build a baseball stadium in this world. That won't be till a later project. I've got a project in mind that we'll do eventually, but we'll essentially be building 7 small cities. So that's a hint on what we're doing. Hopefully we get to that by like February. That'd be the goal, because it'll take a while to do. But I'm hoping by February we'll be starting what's essentially going to be my mega base. There's 7 cities. Little hint for you guys. Little puzzle, if you guys can figure it out. Probably not, because all I've said is there's 7 cities. And I figured, you know, it might be fun to make a baseball stadium in one of those cities. So stay tuned for that in the next 5 years. Stay tuned. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good exterior. I know the side here looks really weird, but Western buildings typically look like this. I might have to knock off the little sides here. Yeah, I think that looks slightly better. It's a little weird that it's coming off the facade. I think it's a false facade. I always forget what this is. But yeah, I think we're pretty much done with the main building here. So now we just have a little exterior work to do. So for what I'm gonna do now, I need a stack of dripstone. Perfect. So I'm thinking this spot of dirt right here will be ideal for us. And grab some dirt, because this is perfectly 8 wide. So then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'm just gonna go around the borders here and make this sort of level here. So what we're gonna have here is basically a pit, but I'm putting down this layer of stone just so we have it. And then we'll just go along here placing dripstone. It's all lit up down there, so we can fill this in. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna place trapdoors around the area. So now we have this giant pit. And right here, we're gonna have a bucket of water. Cool, so now basically what we do. Let me clear some inventory out. Go here, collect some water, and we place some dirt down, and we turn these into mud. Super efficient process, right? Because you got to do this 64 times. Whoops. But this mud will eventually turn into clay. So now we have a clay farm. Whoa, already, look at that. This is actually pretty fast. I think once we have a significant amount of gunpowder, we can just make splash potions of water. But I don't have that resource at the moment. So every time we harvest this little 8x8 area, it's going to be exactly a stack of whatever item we want, whether that be terracotta if we're doing silk touch or brick if we're doing brick. So I was hoping this was going to be a good way of getting brick, but now we have the cool area over there, the lush cave. So we might not have to use this much, but you know, we have it. It doesn't hurt to have this. It's a nice little easy pad of area to harvest every now and then. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Be sure to finish the rest of 1984 if you're following along. And yeah, that's going to do it for today. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.